But we would like to get that one. The most of the times I've been in here and said, it's tough that we wasted a good offensive effort and didn't get a win because our defense didn't help today. The defensive effort was really good, and we played hard. Again, but we had, forget the late turnovers. It was the early ones just as much that kept in the way of. We just got to get a shot up the court. This is something that I do think you can control eventually. We will control eventually. Experience and skill development and all these things makes a difference. But it's tough when you don't get a shot. 20% of the time up the floor, we continue not to get a shot off, and some of those are runouts, and it's really going to be hard to win until we shore that up. I can tell you, do everything schematically. We can do everything we can, but forcing passes inside or not take care of it on the outside is not a winning formula. So we'll just keep working at it, and that's all we can do.
Emmett Golden, ESPN Cleveland. Porter had some big turnovers there in crunch time. What do you say to him after a game like that?
Just talk to him. I mean, that's sort of not the plan to turn it over, but put him in games in tough situations. So this is the best way for him to learn, and he will learn. He's really just got a really good attitude about this, and so I'll just talk to him. It was tough for him, and but we're. He'll see him. We'll show him everyone, but we'll show him all the good plays too. So we don't come back in that game without him.
Coach, we talked about your young backcourt and it being a tough matchup before the game. What did you think of Colin and Darius's performance tonight?
I think both of them. This is the third time we've played that backcourt, and each time they're getting more comfortable with playing those two. I mean, they're even smaller than they look. I'm just telling you, when I'm standing next to them and they get underneath you and they bully you, and then they're just both exceptional shooters, and also always the threat of them, drawing a foul on a three too. They're hard to guard, but I think we're growing more in confidence. Who knows? We have one more game with them. Who knows? The next time, maybe we could even play better.
Did you notice the little pep in Darius's step after having a couple days off?
Yeah, I think you probably did too. I think that's going to happen when you think of a kid never played more, didn't play a full month, let alone, I think this is our fourth month of full month. And so, yeah, it was good to see him with that pep.
Coasters with the Athletic. John, you've played them twice before. Would you say the defensive side of the ball was the biggest growth from those previous two?
Yeah, you remember the first one was 133, and they ended up just like running on us, going up and down. And then the last time, a lot of their guys didn't play, and Siakam didn't play, and they put 115 on us or something. So, yeah, I think that we're seeing some things there. The lineup we had at the end did a really good job defensively as well. So we there's growth. It's just not enough for it to get wins yet against teams like that.
Cameron Fields, Cleveland.com. John, going back to the defense, why does Henson, Nance McKinney, and then Kevin Porter Jr. Why are they so good defensively together?
Oh, I think that's probably all those guys are one of the reasons they're playing in the NBA, because they have a defensive mindset. I wouldn't say any of them are in the league because they're super scorers, right? That they guard people. They know that they're not going to play very long in the NBA if they're not good defenders, and so they have a lot of pride in it.
Angel Gray, Fox Sports Ohio. Coach, there was a series where Larry Nance blocked a shot. He got a really good defensive rebound, and then he also went on the other end and had a dunk. Just his presence on the floor, you asked for more confidence from him. Are you seeing that at this point?
Yeah, it's coming slowly, but I just want him to. It's not in his makeup to just be more aggressive like that. He's used the word facilitator with me, right? And I said, you're a shooter, you're a scorer who can pass. You always think you're a passer who can score, because he's really an elite passer and he's a good defender. So I'm trying to just get him. You can score. You don't have to shoot it every time, and you don't have to just try and get one-on-one situations and just try to exploit that all the time. But you do need to look at the basket more. So I think he had a huge three today, and then it's just his presence is that he's got the length that you'd like to have on with every position if you could.
Spencer Davies, Basketball Insiders. You said you'd get a lot of threes against this team. Started out looking for the corners very early, very often. Is that something you can see translating even after this game, though?
Yeah, I mean, they do give up a pretty good number because you just don't get the ball in the lane very well on them. And so you remember we had some really open shots tonight, too, especially in that first quarter. They didn't go. So that is I mean, that was the sort of the game plan that we're just not going to be able to go in the lane and score on them as much as you'd like as other teams because they just can protect it. But we have to, eyes on the basket, but then spraying out. And we did it several times. We could do it more.
John, multiple times Colin drove into the lane and then he kicked the ball out to somebody on the perimeter. And we've talked about how his decision making and everything. But is this, I guess, another really good example of that decision making in his growth in that area?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, and we chart every one of those, and then he's got good decision, bad decision, sort of a neutral decision on it. And he's seeing, and he's got goals and he's got numbers to make sure that he has, more good decisions than bad decisions. And we've been keeping it for about 3 weeks now. I don't know how much we've shared with him so far because you don't want to get him too crazy on the analytics, but that is a stat exactly. Are you making the right play? Because he probably could have 8 assists today with some of the sprays he had.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, thank you.